Hi guys, I wanted to do a little Inktober recap video, so I'm just gonna jump right into it and see what happens. So at the first day, I I really had planned at the beginning of Inktober to do like this kind of series where I draw um realistic people and try to somehow make it work with the word. Basically, just drawing faces like for entire Inktober in a realistic style. And I realized pretty quickly that I had no idea how to actually do that. So there you see the result. It just didn't work no matter how hard I tried. I started 3 days before Inktober and I just couldn't get it right. And well, I kind of kept trying though. On the second day, I stepped back a little and mixed a little bit more comic-ish style in it while still trying to keep some realism in it. But just realized that it's not actually me not knowing how to do it. It's just I realized that I actually don't want to do that. That I just prefer inking and yeah, doing it more in a comic style. So on 3 day already, I switched back to the typical inking that I use, but still I'm trying to add some color. And I was getting a little bit more satisfying at this point, but I was still like kind of, yeah, well, it's better, but it's not really like, I'm not really enjoying doing it. On day 4, I completely went like, okay, let's just try and just go all black and white, pure ink. And I realized how much I really like that kind of style. And it's just, I really enjoy drawing like that. And so I try to keep it in that style as much as possible and use Inktober to simply explore the style that I realized actually like what is mine, what I like to do, and how I like to do it. Um, so yeah, for day 4, then I really started enjoying it, and the word freeze, I was like, well, what can you do with that? And like, something police themed like freeze, and I was like, well, but it's a little bit boring. Kind of like, let's add kind of like Batman in the background to make it a bit more interesting, and I think it worked out more or less. Day 5, I was like, okay, let's try adding a little bit of cross hatching there, and you can already see that. It's like my first attempt ever on cross hatching that I ever did. But I was kind of happy with it. Like, I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but I was like, the process itself was kind of like really calming myself down. It was kind of like meditating, if that makes sense. You kind of like lose yourself in what you're doing. So I really enjoyed doing this one. Um, Day 6 Husky. Yeah, that was that was really difficult for me. Like I haven't drawn like a realistic animal in I think ever actually. I might have tried sometimes, but I always ditched it because it's just not my thing. It's not what I like to do. But I wanted to try because a friend of mine has a husky and I was intrigued if I can actually get this kind of look. So I looked up some reference pictures on Google and yeah, that's what came out of it. It kind of worked, but I'm not really proud of it or anything. Ah, okay, this is where it gets a bit complicated. Day 7, Shanted. So at this point, this was my girlfriend, and I had planned to also draw her on the 21st, which was, I think, Treasure, something like that. So I drew her because I was kind of like enchanted by her, and I think it turned out really well compared to the photo, which I'm not going to show here. Well, day 8, still going frail and going all with the ink. And I wanted to get a little bit more, I wanted to get heavier on the ink, adding a lot more black into it. So I basically started creating the whole outlines and then just basically filling in everything with black as much as possible. But now that I'm looking at it, I think there really is missing. Like it would look a lot better if it had some cross hatching in it. I think that was really lacking at this point. He has this little smirk like frail. I'm old and frail, but yeah, I'm still powerful. I kind of like that idea. Um, yeah, day nine swing. I really just couldn't resist. Like immediately when I wrote this word, I was like, okay, I have to draw Spider-Man. I just can't resist. It's impossible. But since I was like in this kind of like ink phase and black, so I was like, okay, go with the black suit. Try to make me jump forward. Search a lot of references, but they're like I was looking specifically for some drawn by Todd McFarlane, who has like a really aggressive kind of like a line art, which I really enjoy, but I couldn't get it style down. So I kept it in my own and I tried adding a little bit of cross hatching. This was like my second or third attempt, which wasn't much in this image, but I still enjoyed it. I was thinking about adding a little bit into the eyes, but I wasn't sure if that would work out or not, so I just simply left it like that, and I was pretty happy that I kinda got the pose right. I mean, the left leg looks a bit weird, and I kinda missed leaving the leg a white outline there, so it's kind of like, what the hell is the leg doing there? But yeah, let's just hope he's jumping forward and not breaking his leg somehow. Day 10 pattern. So I just tried to create something really like an old school pose superhero or villain and just add a pattern by just basically adding like strokes in every direction. So it turns out having a pattern than just the brush going around it to create more patterns and just make it a entire pattern like, I don't know, themed image. That was fun. Um, Day 11 snow. Oh, I remember that one. I was kind of tired of how everybody was still on this song from Frozen, like, do you want to build a snowman? And I was just thinking, like, I'm gonna give you a snowman. Like, something really evil, so you don't want to build a snowman kind of like ever again. I don't know, I just thought it was funny at this point, and I really enjoyed just doing like a terrible horror snowman, throwing a giant snowball in a snowstorm, so everything was kind of like snow themed. Ooh, day 12, dragon. I immediately knew, like, okay, yeah, I can't resist. Most of the people are gonna draw some type of dragon fantasy style, and I got to go with Bruce Lee, the real dragon. And this was when I attempted the whole excuse me, the whole portrait drawing from another perspective, like doing it simply in my style, doing it with comic lines, inking, and then just adding a little bit of black and white shading and keep it really simple and hope that the person is still recognizable. And I think at that point it actually worked out pretty well. I was really happy with the outcome and I really enjoyed drawing this one. Um, Day 13, Ash. I couldn't imagine anything better for Ash than Scorpion from Mortal Kombat doing a fatality and yeah, burning his enemy to ash. I was just like, oh my god, let's just not overthink everything and just go with the first thing that comes to mind. And yeah, I thought it was fun and I really enjoyed that one as well. Overgrown, that was when I was really angry. I started to be really angry there because I broke up with my girlfriend that I showed earlier, and I wanted to put kind of like all this anger in the image. And with Overgrown, I chose the Swamp Thing from DC because I remember when I was very little, I had this comic from Swamp Thing, and it was really grim, dark, and I was like, what the hell is that? What am I reading here? This is like really scary stuff. So yeah, I wanted to draw this one thing being really, really angry because obviously I was. So from here on, basically the rest of Inktober for me was pure hell because I was in this kind of mood and that wasn't really helpful to drawing, let's say. I didn't want to do anything at all anymore. So day 15 Legend. I just thought going simple was King Arthur picking up Excalibur from the stone, which is one of my all-time favorite legends. And I'm happy with it because I kept going with the ink style, but here as well I would have loved to add cross-hatching, which I discovered much later in Inktober, but it's kind of like that was my Inktober process of finding my true style. But on day 16 Wild, I just couldn't resist when I wrote it. Wrote it. I didn't wrote it. I read Wild, and I couldn't resist immediately thinking of Broly. He's like the wildest thing I couldn't think of, and I was like, yeah, let's try adding some color, doing even doing some background, and trying to keep it still simple and quick. Like all those images for Inktober, I try to keep it at a max of 2 hours per day, so I don't overstress myself too much or get lost too much in image and then fail Inktober because yeah, I'm kind of stuck in the image. But I'm really happy with how he turned out. Of course, I would change a lot of things now that I see it, but it's kind of too late for that. So moving on to the next one, which is Ornament. I really like this one. I don't really have anything bad to say. I wouldn't add cross etching here. I think the black in the hair is already more than enough to make it darker. And I really, for ornament, I didn't want to draw something. I saw so many drawing like jewelry or some accessories for a character, and I thought like the coolest accessory that I've seen lately was an Aquaman when basically his ornament was the tattoo over his body. And I wanted to get this kind of like, yeah, this picture right that I saw online. And well, he's recognizable, I'd say, at least. Well, it might be mostly for the tattoo as well, though, but I really like how that one turned out. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't thought it would be so much work to do the tattoos because that was really scratching the 2 hour line that I gave myself, and I almost went over it, but yeah, it still got in, so I was really happy with that. On the 18 Misfit, I went for a kind of cuter thing, but as you surely can see, I just drew like basically one tiger and then duplicated it over and over and over again. So it wasn't much work at all because I was really, like I said, not in a really good mood that month. And that day I didn't feel like drawing anything, so I just tried to get out something as quickly as possible. But in the end, I looked at it and I thought, yeah, well, actually, you've done something different. You've done something a little bit more cuter, not so aggressive, and actually, I enjoyed doing that one in the end. Day 19, Sling. I didn't really thought much about that one, but I immediately knew that I had to draw Jack Sparrow. Kind of like they wanted to hang him and he still has the sling around his neck. Like the day you almost catch Captain Jack Sparrow. And yeah, I thought that was really funny. So that is. Day 20. Uh, that was another day where it didn't feel so good, so I tried to do something. And my best idea was Johnny Cage doing a brutality, but I didn't want it. I wanted to keep it in the inky style. Um, and also it didn't feel so well, so I tried to keep it as simple as possible. So the background is just Goro with his forearms, so it's kind of recognizable that it is Goro and Johnny Cage because it's the JC on the belt. And yeah, that one didn't really took that much. It was like 40 minutes max. Oh yeah, day 21, treasures. So yeah, since I broke up with my girlfriend, uh, and I was watching the series True Blood, and I saw Deborah and Wall, the actress again, which I really enjoyed watching as well on Netflix's Daredevil and Punisher, and she kind of was always like a treasure to everybody, like keeping everybody together or really being a good friend for somebody. So I drew her for treasure at day 21. But the best thing that happened is that when I tweeted it on Twitter, is that she actually did like the image, and that really meant a lot to me. That was really, really cool from her. On day 22 for Ghost, I wanted to do that one for a while since he passed away. I really loved the Ghostbusters and I really liked him a lot. And I always wanted to draw a tribute for him, but I kind of felt like I was really not at the level that I could nail his look or anything like it. And really, the thing that I struggled the most with is his proton pack, like his backpack, because it's kind of more technical thing. And I've actually kind of like never drawn anything technical, like not even a toaster, nothing. So I really struggled with that backpack and where to actually make it black, where to actually add some lining. But I'm really happy how this one turned out in the end, and to be able to finally pay my respect and homage to the actor and writer who created the Ghostbusters alongside Then I Cried. For Ancient, I kind of knew immediately that I wanted to draw a vampire, so I can draw a character and something that's ancient. But my problem was which vampire to draw because there's kind of like a lot that I know. I couldn't really choose which one to pick, and at the end, I picked Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer with a little bit of text from a song that he had in one of the episodes, which it's like one of my favorites because they actually made a musical out of it, and I think it's hella funny what they did there with the text. So yeah, I really enjoyed drawing James Masters as Spike for Ancient. Day 24, Dizzy. That was the best thing I could think of. Excuse me. Rocky Balboa, literally, like I remember that scene from, I think it was from Rocky 4 when he was fighting against the Russian Ivan Draco, played by Dolph Lundgren, and he was sitting in the corner of the ring between rounds. He was like, I don't know what to do. I'm so dizzy, I see triple. And everybody told him, just hit the guy in the middle. And I just remembered that, and it made me laugh so much, that scene. I thought it was really funny, so I tried to replicate kind of like the scene. I mean, he doesn't look like Sylvester Stallone or anything, but I hope some of you have seen the movies and remember that scene as well. Day 25. Tasty. I wanted to add a little cross-hatching, which was like a terrible fail, I think, on this one. But I also wanted to do something really cartoonish and simple, because I thought that would be really fast and don't use up as much time as usual. But actually, the perspective of that freaking pizza and the carton around it took me a lot of the time. So in the end, it almost did scratch my 2 hour mark as well. I kind of like imagined like, well, Mikey having picked up the pizza and obviously all the turtles wanting some, but kind of like he couldn't resist immediately opening it and eating it, and everybody was like, Mikey, where is the pizza? And like, Mikey, don't you dare. And then Mikey. I just thought it was funny, so yeah. Day 26 Dark. Okay, here I really try to go with the cross hatching. At the beginning, I wanted to leave it completely black and white. Um, but to be honest, I just didn't have the skill to actually add enough black into it so it would actually make sense as an illustration just being in black and white. So I just tried to make it up with as much cross hatching, Good one. Cross-hatching as possible and trying to get the practice at least and see how it works and see if I can actually make it work and make it a lot darker than it actually was. And it did work fairly well. The reference for this one was drawn from reference, and I used a statue as reference because I don't like using like already drawn images as reference because I don't know, my mind automatically sees already the lines there and kind of like mixes them into my style in. So I kind of like, it's not like I would be drawing it even if it's just from reference. So I always try to use a three-dimensional object so I can't pick up any line. I really have to make it up myself. And yeah, I'm really happy how this one turned out in the end. And then, yeah, day 27 code. Ooh, I'm really, really happy with that piece. That was when I kind of was, I was thinking, well, if I can't really get the hang of this cross hatching thing, I'm just gonna stop thinking about it and just do it however I feel like I want to do it. And I really made him really dark. Like he was like his body was almost pure black and just white outlines. Then I thought it would be a super cool idea to like go over the entire image, like everything that's black, and kind of like count a crosshatch with white on the black. And I think the entire piece really, really pops out a lot, has a lot of detail because of that. And this is definitely my favorite piece from Inktober. Because it's like, yeah, that's really where I finally found like what I like to do, what is my style, and how to actually use it. And this one is drawn from a statues reference as well. And well, cool side note, I really wanted to add this. On Amino, it actually got featured, which like really made my day because I really put a lot of time into this one, and I really I ignored my 2 hour limit. This was almost 6 hours in total. And it was like for the last days of October, I'm gonna try to go all out and put my heart into it, into every single piece as much as I can, and don't care about the time anymore, and just try to make it as good as I can. And well, apparently a lot of people liked it, and I'm really, really happy with that because I never got so many likes on Amino, and that really made me happy. So moving on from that, oh, day 28, right. I was looking up the word ride on Google and I saw a lot of stuff that I liked. Um, First I wanted to draw a car, Knight Rider. Then I wanted to draw a motorcycle from Tron. And then I thought about the Ghost Rider. And I was, man, I really would like to do that. And I checked out some statues. I was like, okay, you can use that as a reference, but like I never drew like I said before with Ghost and drawing Egon, I never drawn anything mechanical. And drawing an entire bike for me was like, I don't know if I can even do this. And literally the front lines, like those two here, those in the middle, that was like the first time I actually used some helping tools from Procreate to actually like just keep the pencil straight so it actually would automatically give me a straight line. That was like the only time that I actually used like a feature that you couldn't do naturally on a traditional drawing. But yeah, I just couldn't get it straight any other way. It was like way too long for my hand. I don't have a steady hand as that like already. But I'm really happy how this one turned out as well. I really like how the face turned out with all the lines there. I really just love adding a lot of lines into this. Like you can't really see them from far away, but there really are a lot of lines around his body. I think it's quite a cool piece, and I'm really proud of that one too. So day 29, injured. This one is actually the original cover like that is from the Death of Superman, where he is not dead. He obviously returns, but he was severely injured, so I thought of this one, and it was another day where I felt really bad, and I thought this would be a really quick one to do. But I screwed up so many times that this one took me way over 2 hours, although it normally would have taken me just like 30 minutes max. But I just made so many mistakes that day. I may put on the layers on the wrong stuff. I just messed up everything that I possibly could. So I had to do it over and over again to at least get it posted. But yeah, I got it done, and I'm really happy that I got it done, and that's it. Ah, and then I went with Trunks for Catch, and kind of like changing a little bit the theme. The Dragon Balls fans may know that in the Dragon Ball Z series, in this Cell Saga arc, Trunks trained with his father in this place of God, and they both thought that they did become stronger than the enemy they were fighting, but it turned out they only gathered strength and not speed. So Trunks, this character from this image, basically, he was way stronger than his opponent, but he was too slow to even touch him. So that's why I thought, well, no matter how hard you train, there is always a catch. And I thought it would be a nice idea to try to draw a character from Dragon Ball from a very actually famous image drawn by Akira Toriyama himself, completely in my style, and see how it would turn out. And I'm pretty happy with it, apart from the face. I'm not really happy with the face. He kind of looks weird, but I couldn't really figure out what it is. And then we have the last day. And so many people talking about like digital is so much easier than drawing traditional, and a lot of people asking me why don't you do traditional pieces, and I always explain it's just like Procreate, using Procreate. I'm using it the same way that I would use it to draw a traditional piece, and there's literally no difference. So I made this one, but this one is actually a complete fake. Like, don't believe that I actually drew this on a paper. The paper in the background is pure fake. I took a picture of my hand with my Apple Pencil and the paper block, and I drew the orange in Procreate and literally just put it on the layer on top, and that's it. And I thought it was like a funny idea to end Inktober like that. And yeah, that is the end for me of Inktober. I did manage to do all the pieces. Like I said, the Spawn one is definitely my favorite. I really enjoyed getting the like from Deborah and Wall. I really enjoyed drawing Egon. And yeah, I'm really happy that I found the style that I really want to draw on from now on, when I draw seriously in my own style. And I want to present my own original characters with some little narrated stories on YouTube. And it was a great experience. I always enjoy being surrounded by all the people in Inktober. I would love to mention all of them, but it's just so many that would take forever. So I'm just gonna give some special thanks to Yasmin and Dave, who are always there for me every Inktober. And I really appreciate you guys' support, and I really have a lot of fun talking to you guys and doing art with you. And I'm really looking forward now to do the prompt squad again. So I hope you all enjoyed Inktober, learned something from it, had a lot of fun with it, and see you next year. Bye.